InnerQuest explores various pathways through which you can connect with the infinite wisdom of the universe and apply it to personal, professional, and spiritual growth. This program, featuring accomplished practitioners, educators, and authors, is provided by Infinity Foundation, an innovative center for holistic studies and research. We invite you to share this journey with us.
Hello, welcome to InnerQuest. My name is Jay Stone, your host for today, and our guest is Carrie Massey. Welcome, Carrie.
Well, thank you, Jay. Thank you for having me here.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I'm sure I'll be even happier to have you a guest by the time we finish this interview. Carrie teaches energy medicine, and her education and experience includes myofascial release, Reiki massage therapy, and polarity therapy. Today we're going to concentrate on polarity therapy. Carrie, please tell our audience what polarity therapy is.
Well, polarity therapy is the art of balancing the energy fields that we have in our body. Life energy, chi, we know it as different things.
How many different energy fields do we have?
There's north-south energy fields, there's east-west that go this way, there's spiral, there's chakras that most people, they may have heard the word, vortexes of energy in us, and those create a blueprint or a matrix in our bodies.
Now, when you say energy moves north-south, east-west, does it only move in those directions from north to south, east to west, or does it go, south to north as well?
Well, most of the time it's up. Energy moves around our body, so it comes out of our head and down and into our feet. So you have a continuous motion of energy. Okay.
And what affects the motion of the energy?
What affects? Well, it's universal energy, so it's constantly moving. We know when we're born, it starts.
Well, I would think food affects the energy, our thoughts, our feelings.
Right.
Yeah.
Thoughts affect it for sure. Thoughts can affect the energy and make us have situations in our body if we have negative thoughts, if we have crises in our lives, if we've have injuries. That also causes energy not to flow properly.
And how did you get interested in polarity therapy?
Well, when I was doing massage therapy school, I took a weekend conference that was myofascial release and polarity therapy. I didn't have any idea what polarity therapy was. I strictly went for myofascial release. When I started to hear about polarity, I connected with it right away.
And can you tell our audience what myofascial release is?
Well, we have a fascial system that's a communication system in our body. So it's sticky. It's like saran wrap. And we use that.
Is it like part of our muscles?
It covers the muscles.
Okay.
So if you eat meat, it's the covering that you see on a piece of meat.
And so with myofascial release, you're actually massaging the body to release the stress, the tension?
Yes, you're helping that loosen up so energy can flow more freely.
Now, with polarity therapy, do you actually touch the people that you're working on?
Yes.
Okay.
We use 3 different kinds of touch: soft touch, a deep pressure, more of a deep pressure, and a rocking or pulling. Our intention is to make space so energy can flow. Sometimes that soft touch is not on the body.
And are there any scientific studies done that shows the effectiveness of polarity therapy?
Well, they're getting to be more of them. More people are doing studies with them. Now that there's equipment that can measure the electromagnetic field of the body. You know, you have an EKG. There are different tools out there that register that we have these energy fields.
Yes.
So when we balance them out, you can actually see the difference.
Well, I'm aware of studies that prove the efficacy of massage therapy, so I'm sure there's a similarity between the two. Now, you studied with a doctor by the name of Dr. Stone?
Yes.
Okay, just a coincidence we have the same last name. And can you tell our audience who was Dr. Stone and what did you learn from him?
Well, I didn't actually have the honor of meeting him. He's passed away. He's taught a number of people that I've learned from. Dr. Stone was from Austria. He was a chiropractor, a naturopath, and an osteopath.
So he was a physician?
Yes.
Okay.
And with those 3 areas of interest that he had, he created polarity therapy because people would keep coming back to him with the same pain or same situation, and he believed that we should be able to get rid of those. So he studied in India, and he came back with, put together a lot of Ayurvedic medicine techniques, using the elements of ether, air, fire, water, earth, the different touches that I mentioned earlier. There are foods that we use that also fall into ether, air, fire, water, earth, and polarity stretches or movement techniques, breathing. It's a whole program in itself.
Okay. And what kind of problems can you use polarity therapy on?
Anything. It's,
Okay.
it's one of those things where it's not, you can use it on any age, you can use it on any situation.
So like a newborn baby that's a few days old?
Yeah, like if the birth process wasn't smooth, you
Yes.
can also use that.
Yeah, I actually saw a doctor or chiropractor once work on like an infant that was like a week old. That was just a sight to behold. And babies, even though they're small, they might not be conscious. They pack a lot of energy. It's nothing
Oh,
like
yeah.
holding an infant.
Yeah, and even if I've done some work on women that are close to having their children, you know, they're pregnant and 8 or 9 months pregnant. By holding, the baby feels the energy, and it just helps the mother stay calmer, but the baby responds to that as well.
And do you do follow-up after the childbirth and delivery as to how it went for the moms?
Yeah, there's a couple of friends of mine that I had that opportunity of being with them beforehand, and the birth process went very well.
Now, do you work with children at all?
I've worked with some. I'm interested in working with people with ADD or ADHD. I have a family member that has that. I have different grandchildren of clients that have been in.
ADD is becoming more common.
Yeah. And working with just looking at their food, looking at what we can do for exercise, and really there are things like doing a squat that you've seen where somebody gets really low to the ground that helps the energy flow become more balanced.
And can you explain why squatting is there any way that you can demonstrate that now?
Well, I can see if I can get into that position.
Okay, you got to be careful. We've got the...
I'm connected.
Yeah.
So where would I go?
Look at Jen's camera over here.
Okay, so you would want to get down and squat and make sure your heels are touching the ground. And a good position would be to put your hands together, thumb right into just above the eyebrows. It's a very calming and relaxing position, and it helps the muscles in the body relax.
I know a lot of people in Asia, maybe in India, squat like that.
Yes, they do.
And if somebody had like a bad back, bad knees, is there any way to modify that squat to help people?
You can sit on a pillow. You could sit in a chair. You know, as long as you can get as low as you can.
Okay, and okay. So, anybody, and how long do you recommend to do that squat?
As long as you can hold it. If you can hold it a couple of minutes, it's very good for you to do because you're connecting with the earth energy. It comes through your feet, and it just really helps relax the muscles in the pelvic area.
Is there a better time of the day to do that?
Well, I usually do it in the first thing in the morning, or sometimes at the end of the day. So I think it's just preferred, whatever somebody prefers to do.
Well, if somebody was sitting at a desk, that would be a good way just to take a few-minute break to recharge the energy.
Well, yeah, and definitely sitting at your desk with your feet flat on the floor.
See, if I would have known that, I would have done it before the show just to try it out and give you some feedback.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so where did polarity come from, and what are some of the other principles you'd like to espouse upon?
Well, polarity came from Ayurveda. It comes from Ayurvedic medicine, just using the ether, air, fire, water, earth.
Now, our audience may not know where Ayurvedic medicine comes from or about the elements you described. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Well, Ayurvedic medicine's very old, and it's based out of principles of India, Native Americans,